welcome to the video and welcome to the art foamy known as Bantu Knots. And this is a really an enlarged image of what it looks like, but when you print them out you get a 5" in size. So let's show you what I've done with some of mine. So they're all very flexible in terms of how you can use them and the results that you can get from them. So I guess we'll start with the standard size, and I've got them here that I've printed out, stamped out, and then worked on and used mainly alcohol markers. I like working with alcohol markers, and you get some really nice skin tone colours, and then you can blend them as well. You can do that with watercolors as well, and acrylics, whatever paints. So I've kind of just done the base colour, and then what I would probably go back in is go and do some doodling on each of them and work them just similar to as I've done this one here. Okay, so the other thing you can do is print them on card and make the dress longer. So we've got one here that I've done in an art journal, and I've just continued down and I've printed, stamped this on music paper, and it's kind of like got a vintage feel as well. And then this is laid on top of a wax resist created paper that's got paint on it and everything, and stuck on. And here are some others that I've done, and these two have been stamped onto paper that was already had colour to it. So I've created a series of vintage digital art papers which you can check out on Etsy, and so you get the, like this one, she looks like she's got freckles. And you just get some interesting looks with the details of the background of the paper. And you can see with this one as well, see the notes as well. But it makes for a nice look. We're not creating realistic imagery, but you can get some really nice accents with either paint or metallic paint, wax crayons. So just have fun with them. So that is where I've kind of just extended. It would have normally finished here, so I've just extended slightly. Here we've got her with some hands, and you can do any style of dress that you want, or the clothing. And in these ones I've gone even longer. I stamped them onto card, and then what I did with the lower half is get 3 colours and then just smear it across, and so you've got a really nice random look, but they look like they're similar colours, so they belong in the same family. And then you've just got the differences in certain areas, like this has got blues and this has got greens, but it's again to experiment and to have fun. And you can also create shorter figures, like if you decide you want to create your own shape for the figure, you can just stamp out the head, or the head and then the head and the neck, that bit of the neck, and then just add your own figures. We've got 3 different types of neckline here that you can then play about with. your figures, she decided to wear her hair in a bun, so I removed the Bantu knots there, and she could have a bun, she could have her hair out at the back. And in these two, I've removed their earrings. They can have different style earrings. I like the big style earrings there, and this one has got sunglasses. So again, you know, it's like having fun with the page and working out what kind of look you particularly want. So if you decide you've created a figure and you really like this particular look, what you can do is photocopy it, and then you can change the size. So I've printed them out smaller, and you can have some fun playing about with, say, a different element. You can then add glasses, but I really liked this. This is from one of my stamps that I designed, and I wanted to recreate that look, but maybe change aspects, maybe to her hair or her earrings. So I've got these figures. I can make it the same size, or I can make them smaller if I want to fit the different size journals that I have. And so I could go through these ones and say, I really love this look, I want to create a series of these and make them smaller to fit, say, this particular journal. So I wouldn't want to cut these. I would want to maybe photocopy them, shrink them down, and then they'll be able to fit in this space. So there are other surfaces as well that I wanted to show you that you could use, that I experimented with. So I've experimented with working on waxed paper. This is paper that I waxed myself, and then I stamped the image on. And what I found with this is it's nicer, the paper is translucent, and you can use either the water-soluble wax crayons or a water-soluble wax paint. So this has got beeswax, this paint, liquid wax. I'm not sure whether this brand is still available, but there should be some other brands that you can use. And if you have waxed your paper yourself, so I used just paraffin wax and beeswax, spread it over the paper, and then played around with it. So they were, I stamped these designs on paper like this. So it's one of my monthly digital downloads that I create, and you can see it's got like a waxy, it's not all been done on this particular one, but the rest of them have been done. And then you stamp the image on, and then if you want to add to it, paint on it, if you use the liquid wax or the water-soluble wax crayons, you'll be able to still paint them and work on them in that way. And then the other thing I experimented with was bubble wrap, and working with alcohol markers and also alcohol inks. And then I stamped my design on here, and I've started to add some metallic paints, but I really like that look, so I'll be experimenting some more, and at some point I will be sharing that in a separate video. And we can't forget working on fabric. So here's one that I've stamped directly onto a white sheet of fabric, as you can see here, and then I've added it to this background fabric that has been stenciled with paint. So I really do love how they all turned out, and I'm going to be experimenting even more with this particular stamp and doing some more designs. And yeah, I've got a constant selection of stamps and figures, dolls that I can use in different projects, and they can be, you know, attached to bookmarks. There's loads of other things that you can do with them, but here's a nice way to kind of look at ways in which you can alter them, or, you know, add your own kind of spice to it and really enjoy the process. So do remember to tag me at Reality Arts, or leave a comment, tag me at Reality Arts on Instagram, and I'd love to see how you use them.